Hey guys, so today we're comparing the Galaxy S22 Ultra to the Galaxy S23 Ultra. This video is kind of intended to help those who are on the fence, like you have the S22 Ultra and you're thinking of getting the new one, or you don't have either of these and you're thinking which one should you buy. Because I know this one, you can get this for a very good price today. You know, the deals are going to be pretty good because it's about a year old and you know, these phones, their prices like plummet. Now, before we get started, do you like the space background? You know, the space background I have here. Normally I have the white background, but if you guys don't like this space background, I'll get rid of it. Just let me know and it will be gone. Yeah, so we are just going to get right into it. First of all, the display. Display wise, they're both the same resolution and the same brightness, the same peak brightness. But the curve is a lot less on the S23 Ultra. So as we can see here, it's sort of obvious on camera. You know, it gets less curved, like this is more flatter. Honestly though, you're gonna notice it most when you're actually holding the devices in your hand and using it day to day. Like, the being less curved is actually quite nice. But just minor criticism, Samsung, get rid of the curve completely next year. No one really wants it. But one reason why this, being more flat is really nice is because of the S Pen. There's more of a canvas for the S Pen. And yeah, so it's kind of like having a flat display, but not really because it still curves, of course. The last time we've actually had a flat Note, just, fun fact, was the Galaxy Note 20. The plastic one, not the Note 20 Ultra, the crappy one that no one bought. And before that, I believe it was like the Galaxy Note 4, which was like 9 years ago. So yeah, this will be the best S Pen phone for the time being. Unless, well, actually, it'd be kind of interesting. What if the S24 Ultra just makes it completely flat? But I digress. Okay. Another thing for display, this is actually a slightly newer panel, so like the green pixels, I believe the green and red pixels are slightly bigger, so you may notice that, you may not, you probably won't. What I did notice though, is the display calibration of the the display calibration of the Galaxy S23 Ultra is more neutral, like more muted. It's more like a natural, color accurate, I guess you could say, even on vivid mode. The colors on this are more punchy. They're more muted. Like, you'll definitely notice this because like me, or if you're like me, you've probably had multiple Samsung phones and you noticed, all Samsung phones have like these punchy, vivid displays, right? The S23 Ultra, it's more accurate, more, I guess, like an iPhone display. So yeah, I thought mine was like defective or something, but I saw multiple people mention it online, so I just wanted to mention that here. Yeah, it's just something that's changed. Okay, next up, design. We already saw the phone itself is less curved, and there's some other changes too. For example, on the cameras, you can see here, there's like a thicker ring around them, and this is literally just an aesthetic thing, but this little focus thing, the little red dot is still there, but it's much harder to see. It's completely like blacked out. So yeah, other than that though, design wise, like the bottom, pretty much the same, except there's an extra microphone at the bottom, which was not there on the old model. So yeah, extra microphone, yay. You can kind of tell on the left there. I still have the plastic wrap on this, that's why it looks weird. But yeah, but one other thing on display I saw no one mentioned online is if you have both of these phones in your hands, the S22 Ultra and the S23 Ultra, you'll notice that the glass back on the S23 Ultra is a little bit rougher. So in terms of grip, it's a little bit grippier, which is nice. I like that change. And other than that, in terms of design, they're pretty similar. You're not getting this new phone over the old phone because of the design. They're very similar. Next up, the S Pen. S Pen wise, they're again very similar. Let me just show them anyway. So, in terms of S Pen features, they are both the exact same in terms of features. The S Pen on the S23 Ultra is again slightly grippier. Same with the back on the S23 Ultra. So nice, grippier. The actual pen's tip itself, you can kind of tell it's longer on the S23 Ultra. They simply made this portion slightly shorter. I don't really know why they did this. The only reason I can think of is cost saving. I don't know. Durability, maybe? I really can't say. Fun fact, the S23 Ultra S Pen will not fit in the S22 Ultra. So here's proof that there is actually a difference. You can see it does not click in, no matter how hard you push. It's weird. But the S22 Ultra S Pen does fit in the S23 Ultra. So, if you can find an S22 Ultra S Pen, if the S Pen in your S23 Ultra breaks or whatever, maybe consider buying an S Pen that's made for the S22 Ultra, because it will fit and it might be cheaper. So just saying. But if you have the S22 Ultra, don't buy the S Pen for the S23 Ultra for the old phone, because it's not going to work. So yeah. All right. That's kind of it for the S Pen. Let me just swap them out again. Next up is the speakers. Now, I was going to play a song on both, but I don't want to get a copyright strike. So I'm just going to tell you that the speakers on this are much better. They're louder. They have much better bass. The speakers on this were honestly not so good. So yes, better speakers. It's a nice upgrade. Thumbs up for that. Next up, we're going to talk about the performance. The Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 is pretty awesome. The Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 is pretty garbage. The reason being, this is manufactured by TSMC. This is manufactured by Samsung. Samsung does not make good processors. Let me just tell you that. The last time we actually had a TSMC processor was the Galaxy S20, the Snapdragon 865, and that was also a very good processor. So yes, we finally got TSMC back, and that is awesome. In terms of day-to-day performance, this is very snappy, very smooth. I've genuinely never seen a Samsung phone this smooth ever. I've had so many of them. They all had some sort of weird lags just setting it up, and there's like a weird stutter or whatever. This one has none of that. So that's awesome. Part of the reason is due to One UI 5.1. So yes, the out-of-the-box experience of what software you get on this guy will be very nice, and I like that. This one was a little bit laggy out of the box. Of course, with the last year and all the updates it got better. But this one out of the box is great. Even the camera app, is very snappy. Opening camera app, closing it, all that stuff is much nicer than on this phone. So yay. In terms of day-to-day, CPU performance, great. Gaming-wise, the GPU is much better. But you're thinking, but this is perfectly fine for me. It performs well. Yes, it does. But it's not just about the performance. The next thing that I'm going to mention is the battery life. It is about 20% better than on this phone. And it very much does make a difference. For example, if you end your day normally with like 20% remaining on S22 Ultra, you'll end it with like 40% remaining on the S23 Ultra. And if you're thinking longevity-wise of keeping the phone for a very long time, the battery in this will age much better than the battery in this. So that's a very important point to mention. I'm just saying. And it is true. I've had this phone for about a week, and I've not been able to kill it in a single day yet. And that is a very nice fact to mention. This one I struggled with a lot. Like there were a couple of days where I was nervous if I was going to last a full day on single charge. Like on this phone, if I'm at 30%, I would always plug it in so it will last me the rest of the day. On this phone, 30%, I'm already in bed about to fall asleep. So yes, awesome battery life, very good change. I'm very, very glad that they listened to the feedback. They made the phones much snappier, have much better battery life, better speakers, all that. It very much makes this a perfect note device. Where this one had a couple of things like, this is not as good as it could be. This one pretty much there's no hesitation, very easy to recommend. The only crappy part really is the price, but the price will go down. And when it does, don't buy this. Buy this. You will not regret it. Buy this. It's going to get 4 years of OS updates, 5 years of security updates. So is this, of course, but yes, get this 4 year, use it for 4 years, sell it, trade it in, whatever, get a new one, 4 years for OS updates is actually really good for Android, because most Android phones don't have that. Pixel phones only have 3, I believe. So, But But yeah, once again, longevity wise, this is much better. And the last change, which you guys are probably scratching your head thinking, he didn't mention the biggest change, and that is the cameras. Simply put, cameras are too big of a category to talk about in this video. I will try to get a separate video out for the camera comparison. And quite honestly, there's so many camera comparisons out there. I'll just quickly say, I did, in terms of what I tested, the videography is brighter and nicer, especially on faces. Brighter video at night. That is pretty nice. Selfie camera wise, it is better, but not crazy amount better. Let me know if you guys want to see a camera comparison between the two. They're kind of a hassle to make each year, and the views on them are not so great. So I don't know if I'll even bother. I'll probably just do it for fun for myself. But yeah. Oh, and before I go, I want to mention, I am going to make a speed test between these two. I'm just waiting for some updates. This is going to get One UI 5.1 next week, I believe. And this is going to get a February security patch, which should bring lots of little bug fixes. Don't get me wrong, like, it's pretty smooth. There's no real bugs I encountered. But in terms of stuff like benchmarks and stuff, it's a little finicky. So I do think the drivers need some optimizations. So yeah, I'm gonna wait for the update so it's as fair as possible for both devices. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Follow me on Twitter, friend me on Discord. Let me know in the comment section, do you hate this space background? Is there anything else you wanted to know between these two? Any other differences, something I missed talking about in this video? But yeah, that is it. I will see you guys in the next video.